Good morning on Tuesday, October 25th. It's episode 129 of the 359 podcast, and we are gearing up for Microsoft big event. Good morning, Joan and Ben. How are you?
Hey.
Hello.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having us again. We're going to be talking about Microsoft's event that's going to be coming out tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. So wake up really, really early if you're a super duper Microsoft fan. We'll also be discussing Friday's DDoS attack and also Twitter's expected layoffs. As always, send in your comments and questions and try to be nice to me about Microsoft questions, not too specific because I might not know everything there is to know about Microsoft Office, but I will try to gamely answer as many questions as you can with the help of Brian and Joan. So
Okay, Jon Snow.
yeah. Either way, let's kick it off.
All right. Let's start the recording of the podcast. We'll be back to answer your questions in exactly 3 minutes and 59 seconds from 3, 2.
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day, plus whatever crap we want to throw in. I'm Ben Fox-Rubin.
And I'm Joni Salzman.
So tomorrow, Microsoft will host a hardware launch event, but a lot of the best-known products aren't expected to show up. There likely won't be news on Microsoft Office or Microsoft Band or a new Microsoft Surface Pro. But
Ben, what will be there?
we may see, this could be interesting. This could be interesting. I'm going to try to get excited about this. There may be a new Surface branded all-in-one desktop.
Right on.
Is that right on? Is that
that is
interesting?
correct. That is correct that is the rumor.
These are the best rumors that we actually have. But like an all-in-one desktop, like they've been doing really well with the Surface tablets. The Surface Book seemed pretty interesting when they announced that last year. Like a desktop, does this make sense to you?
Well, I think that it's noteworthy in the sense that it's something that Apple hasn't done. Like that's a place where they're all-in-one. They don't have a touch screen all-in-one for the Mac.
Right.
So that at least, if nothing else, it puts Microsoft in a contrast with Apple, providing something that Apple hasn't gotten around to.
So you can like touch the screen if you feel like it.
Yeah.
You can,
Which, as I'm sure and I know, like in today's world, people are getting used to the idea that you can touch every screen. And if it doesn't work, you get annoyed.
Yes, absolutely. I'm trying to do that right now, and it's not working. So there's also the potential that they're going to announce or provide more details on their augmented and virtual reality effort, which is called Windows Holographic. Is this something that you see taking off, that somebody's going to like put on a HoloLens and start, I don't know, doing their like work of
doing
the
their
day?
spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Doing their Excel spreadsheets and
like,
talking to a virtual dog.
Yeah.
Go fetch
my
document, virtual dog.
I don't see it. I think like maybe that's like going to be like super future tech or something, but like I don't really see the possibility that a lot of people are really going to jump into that kind of technology. I don't know.
It does seem a little hackneyed, doesn't it, to kind of force where Microsoft has a lot of skill set, which is in, Office kind of like documents things, to force that into an
like
augmented reality or
world.
a virtual reality sort of use when, people are going to start using virtual reality or augmented reality for gaming and for entertainment. And like
Not
once they get used to
spreadsheets.
it, not spreadsheets necessarily.
So the event kicks off at 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Will be live streamed. Check us out at CNET.com. We'll be writing all about it. Next, our cybersecurity reporter, Laura Hatala, wrote a follow-up on Friday's big DDoS attack. She explains how DVRs and security cameras are very easy to hack because they're so easy to access remotely these days. So to me, this shows that like technology convenience can come at a price, which to me makes a lot of sense. And a lot of what I've read about that attack is that you're supposed to end up with more of these and more severe ones coming into the future.
Right. There's so much, especially right now, there's so much emphasis on hacking and how it can disrupt elections, how it can do anything. And the fact that very popular services on the internet were brought down for most of one day because so many people just don't change their passwords from admin, their username passwords. It just makes it so easy.
Just default passwords. Yeah, absolutely.
I could be a hacker. You could be a hacker. I can do that.
I would love to do that. No, I'm kidding. That's a horrible thing to do. Last, Twitter is expected to announce hundreds of job cuts and as the company continues to struggle financially. I feel like every single time we talk about Twitter on this show, it's to really I don't know, sad trombone those guys. Do they have a chance? They almost got bought, but then everybody was like, no, thank you.
I mean, they're definitely, I mean, this is a sign that they're going to be retrenching. They're going to be reevaluating where they need to stand in terms of how many people they have, how much money they're spending, how much money they need in order to continue to go. But you don't think Twitter is going to disappear? I don't think it's going to disappear.
I don't think it's going to disappear,
yeah.
but like, there's nothing sadder than like a social network where like, you know, all the rats are fleeing. So anyway, if you want to read more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
And I'm Joni Salzman.
Thanks for listening.
We don't have. Hey, I always do that. I always forget to
That's
turn
okay.
my microphone back on
It's
when we
just
come back.
YouTube.
It's just Brian.
It's just a YouTube thing.
So we don't have a ton of questions, but great
thank
conversation
God.
going on.
Oh, thank God.
No, just, you know, who doesn't hate DDoS attacks? But hey, Joan, are you new? Has anyone seen you before?
I've been alive in this world for more than 30 years, and I've been on this podcast a few times.
You don't look a day over
We
29.
Is that what someone says?
No.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
Because you're buttering me up.
Joan sits next to me, and she's my awesome buddy.
Ben is here.
Yes.
Ben sprung into existence like a Pokemon at CNET. Thanks to
Joan.
me.
Yes, and I'm always grateful.
So you can send all your fruit baskets and flowers to me for making Ben part of your lives.
And
CNET
we bring
readers.
Joan on the podcast every so often, especially to talk about, hey, can we talk a little bit about
Time Warner and AT&T? If
yeah,
you want
yeah.
to. Yeah.
I would be very happy to hear some of your insights about it.
So the Time Warner AT&T deal, it's very important in terms of media, like industry chessboard landscape stuff. It's very important for a really big company in our country, which is AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of how it's going to affect people on the ground, normal folks, it's really not going to, it's going to be kind of a non-event if it goes through or doesn't. Presuming that for it to get approval, for it to even happen, it's going to have a bunch of regulatory conditions set upon approval. So we saw conditions similar. So the last time we had a situation like this was when Comcast was taking over NBC Universal. And even though the conditions that were put on that deal have gotten a lot of criticism for not being for being difficult to enforce and therefore not very effective, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to find a consumer that's really, really pissed off about NBC being part of Comcast, because nothing really changed. Your Comcast bill still went up because all cable bills still went up. It's not like that was unusual. And the complaints that sprung out of that deal are things like Bloomberg TV was not pleased with its like channel number being so far apart from other like CNBC. They wanted those to be close together. So if you're watching CNBC, which is an NBC owned thing, on the Comcast grid, then you'd be able to find Bloomberg very easily, and they were separated. So those are the kind of complaints.
Oh, ho-hum, Bloomberg
I know.
TV.
Like that means like Bloomberg's annoyed by that, but
just get
the
back
number
to
of
your money
consumers that
fights,
care about
Bloomberg people.
The number of consumers that care about stuff like that is pretty small. And also, the grid is going away in like a year and a half anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, by the
generally,
way, in case anybody's interested, I didn't provide necessary context. Joan is our digital media guru. So that's why I asked her about this, and it's very interesting. And it also, we talked about this a little bit on the show yesterday, that content providers want to distribute as widely as possible, which is why, you know, Game of Thrones or whatever else is going to continue to be distributed the way it is, so that Time Warner can keep making the money that it wants to make.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about HBO or CNN or TBS or TNT. You don't need to worry about them not being on any of the things that you like to already watch them on. That's not going to happen. Right,
because that would be a really stupid move for
It would
Time
make
Warner.
it almost pointless to spend $80+ billion on a company and then completely undermine how it makes money.
Well put.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our longtime friend and listener, Michael. Yo, Michael, how you doing? He says, with all this talk about Twitter failing, should I mention Google Plus?
Ooh, well, Google Plus arguably never actually got off the ground.
Yeah.
And when
It can only crash and burn so hard when it barely hopped.
Right.
But when I am on Google Plus,
You're on Google Plus?
Google
very,
Plus?
very infrequently, but when I am on there, it is actually like a reasonably enjoyable experience.
It's
like,
clean. It's a nice-
clean. It's well set up. But
Terrible.
I mean, like it's fine as like an experience to like post your stuff and see what other people posted. It's perfectly fine. I mean, like it's a little bit more like Tumblr, I guess, than Twitter or Facebook, where it's like the news feed is a little bit different.
I think you're giving Google Plus way too easy.
I'm trying to be extremely generous to like the social network that doesn't really exist. So I can stand to be generous in that situation. But
or Google Plus.
I don't think Twitter is going to turn into Google Plus at all. But I think that it's just not. Its financial viability is a lot less than a lot of folks expected it to have.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's expectations versus reality. You know, like
it's streamlined garbage in my eyes.
Silicon Valley is a
pretty
place
good quote,
where
actually.
Like unrealistic expectations, it's like a breeding ground for it. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, not only that.
There's going to be companies like that fall too close to fly too close to the sun and then.
Right. And there were big expectations that Twitter was going to be like the third one along with Google and Facebook to make a ton of money off of digital advertising. And it just didn't bear out. I think that these guys continue to be unprofitable. So I think that Twitter it will be a diminished but continuing to exist company. I also don't understand like what is its head count that they're going to be cutting hundreds of people? Because
they're cutting 300 and that's 8%. So
how many people work at Twitter? Like I don't know.
Do the math right now. Oh God, math is hard.
Yeah, I know.
I became a journalist for a reason.
Yeah, let's give up on this.
Wait, I said it was 8%, right?
8%.
So that's like 3,750 people.
I don't want to be mean about it.
I would not have guessed that many people worked at Twitter.
I don't want to be mean about it, but yeah, I don't like, it's not like they're coming out with like new features every day on Twitter. I don't actually know like what all those people are doing there.
Probably all sales and partnerships.
Yeah,
okay.
there's sales and partnerships.
That's certainly a
big.
possibility.
And internationally at that, so.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a company.
Yeah. It is a company.
It is just a larger. It's a larger number than I pictured in my head. I know bagel about the business aspect from a user standpoint, though.
I don't want to be, and again,
I still think
I don't want to be like
the experience
if somebody's going to
sucks.
lose their job, like that sucks. So like I don't want to be glib about it at all.
Of course,
so, yeah.
Somebody
Anyway.
did work hard, allegedly.
Yes. Do we have more questions?
Well, poor Meezer in the chat just had the revelation that we can read his chats. So yeah, watch out.
What? That's what chats are.
He's a big fan of Joan, however.
Oh, that's
cool.
Sweet. Thanks,
all
man.
right.
That's really nice.
Demetrius wants to know, do you think they will come out with a new Surface Pro?
That is, the expectation is absolutely not tomorrow. There
might be tweaks to the current one.
To the Surface Pro 4, but
Right.
the expectation is that there's not going to be a Surface Pro 5 coming out. Not at this event anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So like an S year.
Yeah.
To speak in Apple ecosystem.
Speaking of
tongue.
Apple, there's also going to be an Apple hardware event on Thursday. So it's going to be a very busy week for us here.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And that's the one where we're likely to see stuff with Mac and with maybe
Mm-hmm.
Apple TV and
So maybe Microsoft is trying to, take the wind out of Apple sales a little bit, but it's with like an all-in-one desktop, which I would be surprised if Apple spent that much time focusing on an all-in-one during their event.
yeah. Yeah.
If Google Plus were dead, CNET wouldn't post there.
We do post there.
Yeah, we're kinda updated.
Probably automatically.
They make us kind of cover a blanket across everything when we do anything.
I think at a
internally.
point
I don't
last
think
year, there was like a change in our instruction as reporters that you don't really need to post on Google Plus.
Right. Look at that. Joan says with a whisper.
I'm giving away our secrets.
You don't post on Google Plus that often anymore.
It doesn't really
Welcome to the Whisper 350.
Oh, don't do that. You're gonna get into some like weird, what's it?
What is that
ASMR.
thing? Yeah, that thing.
And
I know
YouTube.
BuzzFeed does that.
Don't
Where
do that.
They report the news in like this weird whisper while putting ice cubes.
It's a fetish thing, so stop there.
Okay, you just convinced me. Forget it.
All right, this show's over. Shut it
It's
down.
done. We're
Shut
shutting
it
it down.
Shut it down. Once the whispering starts, the
We're so
show
sorry,
is over.
everybody. Our brains are pre-melted before the events this week. So
That's fine.
Busy week,
That's
yeah.
fine.
we'll be
All
back
right.
later tomorrow after the Microsoft event with a
I
full
believe
recap.
so.
Yep.
We'll figure it out on the fly as we usually do at the 359. Either way, the podcast is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, Google Play Music, and of course on CNET.com. Joan, thanks very much for visiting today. Always happy to have you, and thanks for watching, guys.